We have Mercury going into Sagittarius, so I figure I would actually start out by reading a little bit about the specific gate placement in human design, where we have some extra energy, which is gate 34. So let me go back. I wanted to pull up the chart here for tomorrow. So, gate 34. I love that. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes, I love that. Ease and joy. Amen to that. I am right there with you. We need more of that today. I was helping quite a few folks. I actually never, I'm not a morning person. Hi, Katie. Hi, Tim. I'm excited I gave you 2 nights in a row. Hi, Chelsea. It's nice to see you twice in one day. Hello, beautiful. But I never meet with people in the morning, or like I'm not a morning person. I've had my flow, and I have a gate five in human design. I'm gonna lower that so I'm not yelling over it here. And so usually I don't switch up my routine, but hello. I every like season, so like October to December, I'll notice I start to go through a shift. Oh, I love that. Yes, absolutely. It's so funny. You're like picking up on what I was doing today. I'm going to talk about digestion and environment for our November training. So that's what's going to be in the training. So it's perfect timing that you got to see or hear it from one reader, and then we'll talk about it in Patreon. But I have a client who is in Patreon, and she's currently in Switzerland. So, and she wanted to do a half-hour reading. So we did a half-hour reading my time, or 9 a.m. My time, which was like 1 o'clock her time. And I've been feeling like being able to meet with people in the morning, like 1 day a week, because people are needing it, because the energy is cray and a lot of people are feeling scattered and all over the place. So, you know, just to kind of feel like, what am I doing? Why am I going in this direction? What's the point? What's the purpose? How can I make my goals bite-sized? And that's like, if you guys take nothing else away from anything that I say tonight, really leaning into like the micro moments that you are using to chip away at your bigger goal. If you want to write a book, for example, how can you write 1 page a day? If you want to grow a community, right? How can you make, hi Jess, the intentional connection with one person a day? Hi, Megan. Those things that are really planting seeds of growth. So being able to do that, you're like, is it me? Hello, gorgeous. So with that being said, few housekeeping rules or just housekeeping. Hello, thank you so much, beautiful. I'm going to read Gate 34 in a second from the Definitive Book of Human Design. I use this a lot. There's a link to it on my profile if you guys are interested. It's a little dense, but you can get enough of the gist to have it do what it's supposed to do, to help you. But if you want a full reading from me, or a 10-minute reading that's full of a lot of information, I do have a link. I keep it at $8 to keep it affordable for everybody in this economy. I believe in access and reciprocity for this information. So that's one of the reasons and intentions that we're here. But we will be chatting in between. I'm dual streaming over to YouTube at the same time. Hi, Chris. How are you? Joining us from YouTube. I made sure that I can see the chat. And then I do record and email you your readings after we finish. So tomorrow, I want to talk about this first with Mercury in Sagittarius. If you guys have any Sag placements, even if you don't, you can still have Gate 34 in Human Design, because what we also look at in Human Design is what your soul's contract is, what you incarnated here to do. So we're looking at 3 months, about 88 days before you were born, when in Human Design, there's a belief that your soul chose your human vessel. So yeah, absolutely, Chris. I'm here. You know where to find me. So yeah, link is on my bio on both of my pages. $8, 10 minutes. And you'll get the recording too. Yeah, absolutely. Leaning into it for sure. I love that. Yeah, I do idolize your organization. Thank you. Listen, I'm a 1-3. I have 4 left-facing arrows. Like, I'm and a Virgo Chiron. So it's like the perfectionism. It came from a wounded place, and then we're like, okay, I know this is nature and nurture. How do I not nurture the negative aspect of it? And again, like, I've been practicing this for 10 years. So it's like easy for me to just say like, hello, I'm here in 5 minutes and I can look so together. But it's like, that's part of my work in action. So that's why I like to be able to hold space in a way. that makes sense. So yeah, and listen, there's a lot of trial and error, and for me, it's always shifting, right? Like, I'll use our human design hotlines, for example, Meg. Like, you know, me, I'm here like usually Wednesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow, you're welcome, Leo. Thank you. Tuesdays and Thursdays, or excuse me, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I know this week I'm meeting with my beautiful Cancer friend, Tim. He is a beautiful Cancer sun. His birthday's actually the day after my brother's, which is so funny. And then the day before, 2 days before my brother's is my sister-in-law. So it's funny. But all that to say, like, I stay really organized so that, like, if I'm gonna play hooky and like change around my schedule to meet with a friend that I haven't seen in forever on a Wednesday, like, that's what helps with the incentive of organization. But the thing is, and what helps me with my Pisces placements, is that we have to do the delusional. Yeah, you are. That's so true. So I have 2 Timothy Cancers right now, which I love. I love that. I love that. That's so beautiful. But I'll just collect you guys, or get, like, we'll connect like Pokemon. And now you guys have to have another Brenna. You have to find a Brenna Pisces, another Pisces Brenna out there. I'm sure she exists somewhere. What was I saying? Oh, but in order for us to be able to, you know, go on our whims and say, like, on a Wednesday, I'm going to shift things around, you know, having the time in our schedule to say, hi, Ro, stay organized in some capacity allows us to, you know, be grounded in saying, like, where can I get back with? Probably not, only because of location. That much I can say, because location will also play a role. Kind of like, you know how in astrocartography, it's like we can see the map, and if, like, you know, my Timothy Cancer number 1 as Adonis was born, you know, in one location in the West Coast, on the West Coast. I can't remember, Devlio, where you were born off the top of my head. And Tim was on the East Coast because of where the constellations were and that year or that day, right? It'll shift a little bit too. But it's cool to see, like, there's also, hi Afro, there's also opportunities for it to be the same. I mean, I've read for twins before too. Hi, beautiful. Twins before too that had the exact same human design body graph. They were born 3 minutes apart. And body graphs, both similar. They came to my apartment. They were estheticians. One was an esthetician. One was a massage therapist, Maria, and I can't remember her sister's name. This is, oh my God. We've been in this house 3 years, so it was like 5 years ago. And I remember them sitting at my counter in my apartment, because I knew them, like, from out in the world. And it was just funny to see, like, the nature and nurture of their placement. So even just to see 2 placements, like, side by side like that, or identical charts, and even you can have it identical on paper but the expression is different, is crazy. But all that to say, but I'm gonna put a pin in that for now. Again, while I'm reading this, if anyone wants to sign up, I'll be on for about another hour and a half or so, just so that I can catch up on some sleep, because I was up early, so doing some things to kind of restore a little bit early tonight. But this is our specific gate placement of our Mercury tomorrow. So I'm talking a little bit about this already. Hi, Vicky, welcome. I filmed my energy of the day with the Human Design Way the night before, so you'll see me in my red tomorrow morning again. No, you didn't miss it. No, the time isn't off. You'll just notice if you guys are here that I was wearing the red, because they filmed the day before. But gate 34, the gate of power. So gate 34 is a potent and impressive source of energy that empowers us towards individuation, displaying and celebrating our uniqueness in the world. 2 qualities distinguish this gate from the other 8 in the sacral: its asexuality and the unavailability of its power to others. If connected to gate 10 in your G center, your energy will be focused on social behaviors or roles that support your convictions. Capricorn energy of gate 10. If connected to gate 20 in your throat, that's where our Uranus placement is right now, gate 20, your power will be resolved to act on your own behalf, to turn your thoughts into deeds or actions, and express your ability to manifest and thrive. If gate 34 is connected to gate 57 in your spleen, throat to spleen, your intuition will empower your ability to hear what you need to survive perfectly in each moment. If you're a manifesting generator, most likely you have one of those channels that I mentioned. So I do also have the free chart generator in my bio if you want to get a copy to look at if you have those channels and you're a man gen. Without the spleen's direct intuitive guidance, this relentless power to act may become an unhealthy, meddlesome, and misdirected energy, and you may feel lost in your own momentum, expanding energy that serves no one. though admired and even sought after, your energy is simply not available to others. It must remain pure in its power and always accessible to you as you seek to be independent and unique, to act on your convictions, and to triumph, which means to survive as yourself. Yes, 2057, absolutely. Yes, 1034. Oh, I love that. So for you, Ro, we're reading, I've connected through the G Center. Your energy will be focused on social behaviors or roles that support your strong conviction. So how are you building a community of your own, right? Whatever that looks like. It could be like, when we say community as well, especially as the 3410, it doesn't mean that you have to be connected in community and actually create a community, but rather who is your network of people that you surround yourself with that honor your worth personally and professionally. So is it like you have a client base, maybe they connect, maybe they don't connect. I certainly have a client base that connects, obviously. Most of you are in that. Hi, Janet, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Some of you were together, but other of you have never cross-pollinated before, right? So it's kind of deciding like what serves the greater good, what serves the collective of my people, to be able to connect in that way. And then for you, Dev Leo, right, if we're looking at that, your power will be resolved to act on your own behalf, to turn your thoughts into actions, and to express your ability to manifest and thrive, which I also love. Let me look at the 5720, because it's going to be here. I also like reading this book with you guys because I feel like it helps when you read it on your own too. Because I know, Ro, you have it now also. Yeah. It does, right? You're like, who am I? How do I connect in the right way in the right time? And also, like for me, for my placements too, I'm like, who does it make sense to connect in some way, shape, or form? Like okay, you have this tool, you help this person. Okay, you do websites, you help this person, import their astrological chart generator into their website. Like that's my 1/8 channel. But with my 3420, I have that energy to be able to help pour out from my overflow to fuel you. But that's why I do so many of the productivity hours now, because if it's not, I can share my overflow with you, but it's something that I'm not able to fully give away, right? And none of us want to give our power away. That's not the point of this work. The point of this work is to say, hey, you have your own power. For me, it's just like, how do I generate that motor sacral energy to pour out from my overflow? So like, even in these lives, if you guys are here and you're just hanging out and want to listen to the information, use this as a time to like body double with me, because there's definitely, I'm sweating while I'm here, even though it's like 50 degrees outside. It's chilly down here sometimes. Usually I have my space heaters going, but that's what part of that looks like. I can get into pentas, but essentially, so penta energy is basically when you have people's fractals or energy, where you're in one space between 3 to 5 people. But Wa energy is what we call 5 or more. So if you're in an office building, hi Orion, anything along those lines. I made like 2 videos about it once, but it's a little hard to distill down, especially for me as a 1/3 creating content about it. It would be like probably more of a Patreon topic. So I can definitely talk more about it if that's of interest to you. Sacral energy, I wish I had. Yes, always moved like I had it too. I know, I'm telling you. Yes, one-on-one convo. Yes. What was I just gonna say with that? I always say it's like, I love like when I see like a woman that has like beautiful curly hair, right? And I'm like, oh, I love that so much and I can appreciate it. But like I used to perm my hair, I had extensions, I dyed my hair dark for a while. But we always like and can appreciate beauty in other things. But like as a projector, right, if you're using your chart effectively, like I can appreciate your ability to be so forward thinking and to be, yes, I know, I knew it already, to be a visionary, right? Like to be able to move forward and see like how efficient you could be with our energy. So like so many times, like if I had consulted a projector, I could have outsmarted a lot of lessons, even if they were ones that I was supposed to learn. Up until that point, yes. But now I like to say I know better. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Nicole. Exactly. Nicole and I both, we were talking about this, which Orion and Afro, you guys watched the recording of it. Ro, you have access to it as well. And Adonis, any of you that are in Patreon, hi CSR, that asked me anything. And I said to Nicole, I was like, Nicole's the only one that was able to show up that day. So she got 1 hour, obviously a 1 hour reading with me. I have to even out my candles here because I forget that I only light one for TikTok sometimes, but I want to make it pretty for you guys on YouTube as well. But all that to say that with the Ask Me Anything, Nicole and I both have our 3420 channel on our design side. So I'm a manifesting generator, but because those placements are in red, it took me, yes, exactly. It took me time to learn how to apply that energy effectively. So it was like I was running around like a headless chicken, and when I first heard that I was a manifesting generator, like I always say this like to my man-gens, I read for a beautiful manifesting generator the other day named Ashley, and it was funny. So, and a couple of you have heard me say this, but when I heard that we're the multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate people who are here to do and accomplish many different things, I was like, amazing. That means I can work 80 hours a week and make bread and be able to like, you know, make all this money without burning out. Like, what do you mean? And then I burnt myself out really quickly, like very fast, very quickly, and then had to recover, hi Megan, from some pretty intense adrenal fatigue. So that was not fun. Because what I realized after the fact is that also is my only manifesting generator channel. The other two channels that I have, the 1/8 channel and the 4426 channel, are both projector-like channels. They connect to the throat, they're manifestor energy, or they connect to the spleen. So it's funny because even though I'm a manifesting generator, I always say that a lot of my tips, or the reason I have such a connection with projectors, is because I have 2 of my 3 channels that are projector-like channels. So it's like, I'm constantly looking at, especially from a 4426 perspective, or if you guys have either of those gates, it's always about what can we do more efficiently? How can we make this easier? How do we use this tech? Hi, nature or natural. Sorry. I need to push over the comments so they get bigger. Yeah, I feel that way too. However, I'm only a generator. Not only a generator, you're a beautiful generator among many other amazing things. But I just did actually a generator 101 video, Megan, on YouTube. So you might find it helpful. Hi, beautiful. To ground in as well. Yeah, Nicole, exactly. Mine is red too. Yes, I remember. I'm your fellow headless chicken. I've been there and I feel you. It just takes time to be like, how do we balance the energy and being informed about your predisposition, things you may have already known, but then you're like, ooh, I was operating like with a lack of self-awareness. And listen, sometimes even not being self-aware, that doesn't always have to be a negative. It can be a positive too, where we're like, oh, I didn't realize that I was operating this way, but this is why people find me magnetizing, or they love my projector brain, or they love my manifestor wit and power and intensity and fire, or they love my generator ability to like just do and get things done, and my manifesting generator ability to do that too, my reflector ability to be a sage, right? There's so many different things that every individual body graph is beautiful in its own unique way, because they say it's like little universal filing systems to say, okay, we need Ro, we need Orion, we need Natural, we need Katie, we need Nicole, we need Brenna. You know, it's everyone's going to be needed at a different way in a different time. That's why I say like the competition piece of, especially this work, like when I see like astrologers arguing or like, you know, human design readers, I'm like, everyone, like we all need to be blooming where we're planted in our corner of the internet now, and also IRL. Because it's silly, because one human design chart reader's, or one human design reader's way of reading charts is going to be so different from another, and you could get 2 different readings from 2 different readers, and it's a completely different reading because the way that they read is just so specific to their experiences. You know, I got it for my placements and my experience. I get a lot of people who are looking to become like full spiritual entrepreneurs or creatives in some way, shape, or form. And then with all my Scorpio, people who are going through periods of intense transformation. So like if they experience a death or mental illness or, you know, spiral, like I get a lot of those energies. But for me, it's like I had to inform myself of how to do that. But listen, you get a human design reader with a lot of Taurus, they're like, we're not focusing on the past. Like, what do you want to do moving forward? Like, well, I don't care about your trauma. Like, don't use that out of context. But, you know, people who have a lot of Taurus placements are like, why are we focusing on that? It just, their brain doesn't have to go there too. Sometimes you can get too stuck in the self-awareness too. Yeah, Katie, I know that emoji tells me speaking from experience. But yes, you're absolutely right. I took your advice from your reading. Oh, I love that. I use my voice and I'm able to manifest things out of nowhere. I love that. Wait, I'm screenshotting that. I love that so much. It was so sweet. I was making myself so emotional, like going through all of your testimonials because I wanted to include them in my last email that I sent out, because for the next 24 hours, I'm doing a flash sale. If you're on my email list, if you got a reading with me before, you have access to it. And so for 24 hours, I made my readings $99 instead of $150 because a lot of you were just craving that. And I wanted to give, be sensitive to the socioeconomic climate at the moment. But I was going through my testimonials in relation to that and some of the readings that I've done. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I just have, it's like the book of proof that we all need to be like, this is so validating. And I feel the love. So just to share that back is a joy for me. I'm happy to do it. So thank you, Mikain, for saying that. I'm so happy it helped you. Do you see, or are different birth years different a great deal from other generations? Yes. So, especially when we have, I can't think of like let's say the boomer generation, their Pluto, they have a Leo aspect that I forget, either something that aspects Leo or a Leo placement. So there's a lot of like tone deafness that comes with that generation a lot of times, but it depends, right? So it's like for my fellow Pisces, Saturn and Pisces folks that are like 94 babies. Hi, Viv. That's also, look at that in a second, Megan. That's going to be one energy, right? So we are finding ways to be like strict about our emotions, or like it was like all or nothing. Emotions are drawn out, or it's like we take a long time to get over things, which also has a lot to do with our Scorpio for 94 babies. North nodes versus south nodes are going to affect that. But yeah, Gen X, I've noticed, I mean, it depends on what placement specifically. I don't remember what their Pluto or like outer planets were doing at all. Yeah, I feel like I'm so in between. And you probably are, especially, listen, if you have a lot of mutable, so if you have like Virgo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, you're gonna kind of float around a little bit more than like if you were like a hardcore Scorpio, even though we're water, Aquarius, Leo, so on and so forth. So certain things, yeah. Oh, I'm 83. Yeah, I know. Like you feel in between. Do you mean like you feel 30 and also 300 at the same time? Which could also be true. But yeah, so it honestly, it's like, I love this, and this is Pam Gregory, who's another astrologer that said this. She's on YouTube. She's a Pisces, so if you like the way I teach, you also like the way that she teaches too. And she says that 50% of the puzzle is just the information. The other 50% is like, what do we do with it? And I totally agree with that same philosophy, because it's like, I always say this, I could tell somebody that they have the most amazing chart to be a performer, and they could be a beautiful songwriter, a singer, an actress, like use their voice. But if they are so debilitated by having an undefined or open G center, then there's nothing, I cannot crawl into that G center myself and be like, let me cosplay CSR, to be able to make you go to an audition, right? It's like, we can't, that's like trying to temporarily or, have somebody destiny swap with you. And we don't need to do that. We don't need to be getting into that. So, just as kind of like another way to look at it as well. I've met amazing, inspiring 83, 85, 90, 102-year-olds, no exaggeration, that have such a secure sense of self. They've lived a very fulfilled life, but also not in the not so distant past, some 70, 80-year-olds that are being confronted with less time in front of them statistically than behind them, and they're panicking. And a lot of them, especially in the spiritual space, not a lot, I will say, in my personal experience, because I also have a Capricorn 12th house, which leans into me, like this being the lens through which astrologically I see the world personally, and synchronicity with my chart, that they're kind of like clawing at the walls of the enclosure, that like they didn't get to be the sage and the guide, and they didn't get the recognition, and they're panicking, and so like they don't exactly have the most savory energy for how they're handling it. So but that is like my other people's lack of gumption or energy to put towards their own life and what they want to create, and they say they want to, like, that's not on any of us, that's on that person to fulfill that. You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. There's so many sayings like that for that reason. So My son, and Megan, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm going to go back to that just so I can capture the same thread of conversation. My son is a young millennial. Okay, guys, I've always thought and said I was 5 years behind per se. I would be curious to see where your Saturn is too, because wherever our Saturn is, it's elongated lessons. Hi, Harm. Or it stretches out time in that way. So let's say like if you have Saturn in the 5th house, which is romance, children, and you had kids in your 40s, right? It makes sense that you're not going to have children, as in me just talking about one isolated placement, not looking at how it's aspected. That could be an example. So, like just something to kind of consider. I think my sister-in-law, because she has Valentina, who's our niece through my husband, not my biological niece, but niece through marriage. And she was 41 when she had her. So, hi, universe, welcome. I have so much Scorpio. Someone like me doesn't do light fair reads. Yeah, exactly. You're like, how much do you want to cry? It was so funny because Chelsea, when I said, it's so funny because I edited my video when I was wearing like the bright blue, cobalt blue sweater. I was like, I started with the word fear, but I actually started with one of the word fears. I just edited it over like more. And I was like, fear is the, blah. I forget what I even said like exactly, but I just remember fear was my word. And Chelsea, who's a beautiful Taurus, is like, I didn't expect to go that deep like at 8 o'clock this morning. And I was like, I can't help it now Mars and Scorpio was in, we're still both in, Mars and Mercury were still both in Scorpio on top of my 5 planets are. I'm like, I can't help it. But yeah, I agree. Let me read Megan, and then go back natural. I just saw you commented something, so let me go in order. Could also be that I'm in my second perfection year Taurus voice, 1000%, because you're going to be using it to feel like you can communicate more effectively. But Taurus also, it's like learning how to say things with grace and tact. Tact has been a big word that I've been channeling for a lot of people recently, just with the atmosphere of like, how can you do things more tactfully? And especially because I just actually had a client. I have this so for those of you who are like really strapped for cash, but also have like 3 a.m. thoughts, I started using this platform called Pop Call. And literally you text me directly for $1 a message. It's not one of those platforms where like, I'm saying that you're texting me and here's the phone number and it's like some automated system. Like I literally sit down on my computer and message you back. And I had a client today named Christy who went viral for talking about the, things that are being canceled, food related here. I have to be careful about how much I say to make sure I always say I still have a connection to you guys. And someone stitched her video and it got like 1.9 million views. And so we were talking about how to workshop through using her voice in a way that's more effective for her, right? So even though she's not in her second house perfection year, with Taurus aspects and also her Leo aspects, I was like, well, what is it, hi Amanda, that you want, like now that you've gotten the eyeballs, right? 1.9 million is an amazing number for you to get eyeballs on what you're doing. Like, where is it that you truly want people to go in a way that's sustainable for you? And this is where you have to immediately, this is my arts and music management coming in from my New York City days, like immediately switch into, there's gonna be arguments on both sides and everywhere in between. Opinions are like, everybody has one. So, what is it that who are the people that you want to focus on and stoke that fire with your Leo, but not everyone is gonna hear your voice and hear it tactfully. It's a lot of inflammatory information too. So just all that to say, hi Ramoni, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Excuse me. Oh, I love that. Yeah, natural. There you go. I'm a Virgo sun. Happy belated Gemini moon. I love a Gemini moon. You're so good at remembering so much information. I always say I want a Gemini moon in my trivia team. Pisces rising, but Gen Z, what's that mean? Well, it depends which part. I could talk about all of them. And again, if you guys want a reading while I'm here, me to look at your chart specifically, $8, 10 minutes. I also send you a recording. I record it. We'll do it live. So just to say, yeah, I know, I know. But see, it's like 1.9. You have to think about this. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, I'm ready for it. Luminary, I want them 1.9. And $1.9 million, but also million views can feel like the lottery. where, and I mentioned this this morning, where I was like, you know how people win the lottery and then 6 months later they go broke. There are people on this app that have hundreds of thousands of followers, 1,000 followers. Like, it doesn't matter if your nervous system or your spirit isn't ready to hold the container of that number. It's really looking at like, okay, well, people could make a bunch of money or $0 off of it. You know, it depends. Or if that's not even your goal, maybe money isn't your goal, and it's like getting people to donate to a charity for the holidays, do a gifting tree. Like, that takes a certain skill set and ecosystem to be able to do that effectively. So, you know, we're also seeing that too. And if I'm answering your questions too, again, this is being recorded to YouTube, so you guys can look at my channel there, sub over there too. I do productivity hours during the day, and you can watch back my answers again and again. So that can be helpful. Oh, your Saturn's in the 5th house in Cancer. There you go. Oh my gosh, yes. So prolonging that energy. Did you have your son like later? Like, did they consider you a geriatric pregnancy even though it wasn't geriatric? Because again, looking at your 5th house Cancer Saturn in relation to one part of your chart, if it's, you know, benefically aspected, so to speak, it's going to be different. Boy, have people been tactless lately. I know, coming from a Sag who can take it. I know. And people also can dish it out, but they can't take it. They don't like when the mirror is there. Also, I find it easier to explore more artistic stuff. Yes, Megan, that makes so much sense. It's $8 for 10 minutes for, oh, there you go. Yes. Not you hiccuping when you spoke of getting into someone. She sent her, literally. It makes so much sense. I'm a little stuffy at the change. I've been cleaning today too. Hold on, I lost my spot. Yeah, as long as I can sustain myself and know about what to, and know what to me. Yes, if you can make it sustainable. Hi, Tara. Exactly. Oh, 1,000%. And your Leo placements too. But $8, personalized astrology, human design, 10 minutes, TikTok live mini reading. Sign up is in my bio, so you could choose the time. What was that? I feel like I missed something. Where did I go? Oh, Viv, hi. Yeah, I keep seeing stuff about Mercury completing a 13-year cycle. Can you touch on that? I don't know what the 13-year cycle is off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look. I have to think about how. So if we have Mercury retrograde 4 times a year, I think Mercury shifts about every 4 weeks or so between every 12 signs. So there's maybe another aspect that's being made to Mercury that is some sort of closure, but I haven't looked into that personally. I don't want that many. Yeah, my 2 is like maybe less exactly. Well, with the training that I'm planning for us in Patreon for November, I'm talking about environments and digestion. And so when we look at your colors and tones, I have a feeling that it also has to do with that. Because I'm a caves person and I'm a selective caves person. So like I feel like let's say I have 16 of you here, 3 of you here, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right? So it's 21 people all together for fast math. And so for me, I feel like I'm hosting 21 people in my home, but I actually don't have 21 people in my home, right? Like in my home when I'm hosting, I do prefer even out, like going out when I'm getting dinner, like my friend Tim and I tomorrow, it's just him and I, right? Like I value that intensity and depth of really getting to connect with a person one at a time. Even in group settings, if I'm talking to a group of people, I do my readings online the same way because I'm a selective caves person. Like there's only specific people that come in and out of the cave. That's why like I'm one of those people that doesn't care about the block button. Like if somebody wants to believe that like it really is that deep, you know, that I block them, like that's fine. But like I just am one of those people where I'm like not on the phone that I pay for. Like I don't go to connect with people that are gonna piss me off. And like I'm not the type of creator that needs to go and like prove this person wrong about astrology and human design. Like I don't care enough. Like I literally don't have the like capacity to tolerate that, because that's not, I just like, why would you, for me, I would not want to be known for that. Hi baby, that's my husband. I know, he's probably like, why did I tell him texting me? He's like, why isn't my wife texting me back? I love you. Who else was I? Yeah. The 2 line. Yeah, not you hiccuping when you spoke. I know. something about this return into Pisces. So it's not, Mercury is going into Sagittarius tomorrow. But I'm thinking you're talking about Saturn in Pisces, like it's finishing up retrograding Pisces, but I don't know. There's probably a couple transits that somebody was talking about that are overlapping. It's also Mercury retrograde shadow period. Mercury goes retrograde on November 5th, so a lot of that stuff is happening. Yeah, thank you, baby. I love you. I'll text you after. Yeah, so Orion, my hubby, is in your corner of the world today, actually, for this week while he is at work. So he's traveling. Yeah, how's Scorpio season going for everyone? Yeah, Halloween. I know. I'll be picking my husband up from the airport on Halloween, so maybe I'll surprise him with a funny costume or something. Oh, narrow valleys. Yes, that makes sense then too. Not wanting so many people in your valley. Gotta keep the valley green. Yes, Scorpio season is Scorpioing for me. Yes, so much death. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it's not literal and it's metaphorical. Yeah. The way I block people needs to be studied. I know. Excuse me. It's so true. Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. Yes. Let me see if it dips back into Scorpio. It's so funny because I have a woman on YouTube who I messaged back a couple times, but I don't think she knows to comment, but I'm kind of like gracefully training how to help her look. Oh, it does. Thank you, social. Look at the, because people will comment on YouTube and say, why don't you tell us the day of, like, what the transits are? And I'm like, I do, but you're probably just waiting for them to come up into your feed, not actually looking, like, at my page the day of, whereas, like, TikTok and Instagram, hi, beautiful, it's much easier to see that. And, what was I saying in relation to that? I was going to talk about something with Scorpio or Mercury retrograde. She's a splenic projector and I'm a sacral manifesting generator. So it was like where she can kind of get away with future tripping a little bit. Her spleen wouldn't like that, but my sacral is like, what are we doing today? Right? So it's like, if I am telling you too much about the future, we could touch generally about a week in advance, but you know, I'm not going to, the anxiety that gives people and being like, I have to know every day I was going to have it. It's actually not helpful when 70% of the population is like sacrally defined. Even for those of you that aren't, it's still like, what are we doing with all of the data that we have in just today? Because these next 12 to 24 hours are very full. Good luck. Have so much fun. I'm excited for you. Congratulations again. Even if it's crazy, it's good crazy. I'm like not concerned about it for you. Let me see here. So on the 5th, it goes retrograde. Yeah, so on November 20th, is when we start to go, it goes back into Scorpio. The 19th and the 20th, depending on your corner of the world for this Mercury retrograde. Oh wait, yeah. And then it'll go direct on November 30th. Into Scorpio and then back into Sagittarius on December 12th until January. So we have, I love like Mercury and Sag. I love people with the Sag Mercury. Like they're always making me laugh. Yeah, I know. The emotional waves are, and I think, do you have more than one Devlio? I feel like, I know. I love it too. Like Sag Mercuries are just funny. Like, yeah. Aw, I'm sorry, Viv. Yeah, I don't know if it's uncouth to say I sort of feel aided by Scorpio right now. No, not at all. Like, of course. I'll check for you right now, natural. Let's see. Oops. Oh, yes, I see I have a Jocelyn, and then I have Carol. So whoever is oh, that's right. Thank you, Adonis. So Jocelyn will be first and then Carol. Okay, perfect. Yay. Okay, great. So let me pull up Jocelyn's chart first for 7:40. We are at 7:38 Eastern Standard Time. And then again, I will send you your reading link after our live is over. I'm a New Jersey girl too, Monmouth County. love that. That's amazing. Yeah, so you're further north of me. Okay, so for beautiful Jocelyn here, Jocelyn, and then I have Carol, and then anyone else that wants to book, I'll be on for about another hour or so. So let me look at guidance on career if there's anything in store for my love life. Okay, yes, so look at this here. Oh, let me fix video capture to do that, chart generator. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Make sure I have the right chart in the right spot, and then we're gonna lock that. Forgive me as I talk myself through what I'm doing. Okay. So for beautiful Jocelyn, let me write down the time that we are starting your reading so that when I go back to send you your email, we have that. We're at 49. Jocelyn. Okay, so for career, when I'm first looking at somebody's chart, there's a couple places that I look. Obviously, your energy type being one of them. Oh, CSR is Carol. Okay, beautiful Carol. Nice to officially know your government name. Nice to meet you officially. But this is what I'm looking at for you, Jocelyn. So I get a lot of folks who have this channel of community here, the 4037 channel of community. This tells me a couple things because it's connected to your incarnation cross based on you being a September 2nd baby. If you don't remember the specific vocabulary words, don't stress too much about it. Just remember the general concepts. And obviously I'm going to send you this recording, like I mentioned, like I feel like 45 times, but just to say it again. So it's helpful to remember. But these are people you included who do really like communal aspects. Now, what's interesting is that I have a client actually named Sandy, who's a manifesting generator like you, who has this placement. She's a real estate agent, but she's also a motivational public speaker. And so a lot of what I've been helping her with is build her motivational speaking career based on her human design and landing her more gigs. What we started doing originally was working on coaching because she thought that coaching was originally what she wanted to do, but she found out with her placements because of this channel that instead of one-on-one, she really liked group coaching, group workshops, group activities where she was the speaker and she walked people through other group activities where they walked away after a 1-hour talk, a 30-minute talk, a 2-hour event with like something that they took away. Now, it's going to be relative in group settings based on what feels exciting for you. And if it feels overwhelming right now, because I know your Gemini moon can have your brain going in like 85 different directions, just remember that like I'm telling you what you would be doing maybe, 6 months to 6 years down the road. We're just giving you some ideas to try to get you spitballing, about like what works, passing the ball back and forth, so to speak. This could be, being somebody that does cooking classes live at Williams-Sonoma, or maybe you have a YouTube cooking channel where you have a little bit more separation from you and other people. Maybe you like to have a podcast where you interview different people. I've also been working on that with Sandy in our time together. Just some things that feel interesting for you. Now, because you have a lot of Virgo concentration, you have a Virgo Mercury and a Virgo Sun, this is also what makes you super perfectionistic. So like automatically when I'm saying that, you may feel super overwhelmed and being like, oh, like, I don't know where I'm going. Like, that sounds amazing, but like now I'm overwhelmed. Whatever your 50% is already what most people's 100, I know, girl, other people's 150% is. So it's like, where does the overwhelm happen? I'm going to talk about being a manifesting generator. I'm making a 101 video. I filmed it, but I have to edit it. So I'll send it to you when it's done, or if you're on my YT page after this, you'll see it within the next like week or so. But when you feel that overwhelm, what you want to start with first is knowing that as a manifesting generator, we have many different things we're going to be doing simultaneously. For you, the way you refine this and say, okay, for me as Jocelyn in this 26th year, what vein do I want to go down? And you start to distill based on black or white, A or B, yes or no questions. It's not about doing the same thing forever or feeling locked in. That's what when you're in your 20s, I'm 31, I'll be 32 in March, like your 30s feel like what people tell you your 20s are supposed to be, and your 20s are what your teenage years are supposed to feel like, especially in 2025, but it really is true. So every year of your 20s, you want to just allow yourself to kind of have a theme of like, what are you going to explore? Now for 26, right, you can start to refine with A or B, black or white, yes or no questions, which is helping you to get in touch with your gut instinct to decide, okay, does this feel more exciting or am I nervous? What you're dealing with in general as a Virgo sun is you already are going to have a certain level of low grade anxiety that you misinterpret as your intuition sometimes, and vice versa. So there's certain times where butterflies are good, there's certain times where butterflies are bad for you, and it's just about really like looking at it from an objective bird's eye view to say, well, on paper, like what actually is more sustainable for what. Yeah, and you know what, listen, you know that it's a point, like a sore spot, right, a point of contention for you. You get to say, okay, I know that my anxiety, like talk to it like a person, like I know that you're trying to keep me safe, I appreciate it, but you're actually getting in the way of what I have to do right now. I know, because you have so much coming in, especially if you have a lot of definition, but your spleen and your root is undefined. So especially when you have the 4037 channel, usually, even if you love your family of origin, you're very different from them. So the first core kind of like wounding around that you have to work through, and it doesn't even take very long as a generator, a manifesting generator. It's relative to you and how intensely you go through the process, which also intense doesn't have to mean like, you know, like the worst dark night of the soul ever, something super negative. Thank you for the follow with Lovey. Aw, I love Lexi. I love that. Hello. But when you're looking at, you know, your placement specifically, and you're like, okay, I have wounding in this area, you're going to be very like the black sheep of your family. The way that you grew up is so radically different from the people that, you know, like you can't look to the left or to the right of you at your family home and like ask that your mom or your dad or whoever raised you like what to do. Like it just doesn't, it's not there. Again, you can love them, but it's like very isolating in a lot of ways. But what that isolation is meant to do, especially if you're a Leo North node, is to say, hey, it's safe for you to exist in front of people that don't understand you. You're not gate 40, gate of lowness. You're not meant to feel like somebody to the left or to the right of you, because you are meant to be your own autonomous being. And if we support more of you guys as 4037 channels, you are such prime teachers in the age of Aquarius, Pluto being in Aquarius, where you teach us how to grow on our own 2 feet and really be able to stand in our own, you know, sacred power and autonomy in that way. What happens, right, as a result of that is, you know, you are comparing yourself more to like the kids who had the family with trust funds that can invest into their business or, you know, whatever. Like it's going to be relative to your experience, but like there's always a comparison trap that you get into that can prevent that. Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it. Welcome. So that's just data to respond to. The more you start to practice as a Virgo, that it's just data, it's just information that's trying to keep a little version of me safe, like little Jocelyn safe, the easier it will be to respond to it as a manifesting generator moving forward with more love and compassion, where you can say, I love you, I know what you're doing, but this is now getting smaller. The big penultimate vocabulary word for us manifesting generators is pivoting, where you can say, okay, I know that you're trying to keep me safe, anxiety. I'm putting you in my little lavender bottle, like lavender essential oil bottle. Of course, I have to sniff. And you can live there while I do what I'm gonna do. And to remember that, like, I promise you, with your placements especially, you may feel like you're coming across very anxious, but you're not coming across as anxious as you think that you are. It's like a little bit more stoic than you may feel sometimes. Hi, Igor. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like no one understands, but I'm in this range in between 100%. I felt the same way at 26. Like, it wasn't that long ago, but it was like, I say every years of our 20s feels like dog years, where just allowing yourself to explore and like, what is the thing that you could go for no matter what? Hi, Dr. Fran. That feels like, you know, now's the time to do that. You know, now's the time to say, I want to go and become a musician. I want to make candles. I want to design clothes. And for you, you have a gate 5 like I do. So there's specific things that you're going to do in each quarter or season of the year. So like January, February, March is going to be one flow. Then, April, May, June July, August, September, October, November, December is going to have its own flavor, right? So for you, you want to look at that and say, okay, every quarter of the year kind of changes in its tone for me. What feels like the general tone for the year of 26, but also how is that broken down into 4 quarters, you know, and whatever that looks like moving forward, that's going to help you. From more like career specifics that I could give you in the last minute that I have you, before I pivot over to beautiful Carol, is things that are food centric, event planning, event design, working in events in any capacity. You like things that have a clear beginning, middle, and an end. The beginning is when we plan the event. The middle is the event. The after is the cleanup of the event. You can apply that in so many different ways. You could apply that to one-on-one coaching sessions, astrology readings, mentorship. It's really just deciding A or B, black or white, yes or no, and to use 2 options to say, yes, I feel excited. No, I don't really know. I'm uninterested. I don't know. I don't know is a no for right now to still help you refine. And when you start to apply that towards like, you know, that for your career, black or white, yes or no for what's good for now, and then allow yourself to practice what I said about like putting your anxiety, be like, I love you, I'm talking to you, communicating through the throat as a manifesting generator, like I love you, but like you gotta sit over there right now because I got things to do. You start to help yourself psychologically to pivot in a way that actually is much more beneficial for yourself and your placement. So I'm excited for you. You're allowed to have fun and allow yourself in your 20s to be able to just like move things around, shift things around, be scrappy, be resourceful, especially right now. That's like always a tool of your 20s, but especially right now in this day and time. And it is still possible for you to be able to do what you love and make money doing it, even when times are changing. You just have to be willing to flow with what works. So, you know, allowing yourself to do that is important. So thank you. But keep an eye out for spam, Jocelyn, because since we haven't emailed before, your email might go to spam. So I'll respond to your Calendly booking receipt that you got with all that info. So yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you. I know I have a lot of Virgo babies because I'm a Pisces, so we're sister signs in the zodiac where we sit opposite each other. My dad is a September 3rd Scorpio, or Virgo, excuse me. My dad also has the 4037 channel too, so I know it well. Yeah, exactly, back to back, yeah. Oh, yay, Ro, I'm so glad. I know, listen, I'm telling you, there's always so much overlap, even just talking about manifesting generators, right? Like, it really does help so much. So for beautiful Carol, let me make sure you're on screen here, my dear. Okay, perfect. So we have you, we can look back here, and then we are at 52:44. My career, possibly, and possibly my dinner, because you're somewhat, we've been distant, which is weird to me. That's a lot, huh? Yeah, I know. I'm like, so how much can I push and can condense down into 10 minutes, right? So it's funny because I actually want to start with the sun thing, because just casual, because it's so funny, like random things. This is why I love like watching reality TV, because it actually is helpful. And I was on, I've been watching reruns of Real Housewives of New Jersey. And then that led me to Bethany Frankel being on my For You page again, who is on Real Housewives of New York. And she has a teenage daughter. And depending on, I know your son is a younger millennial, so I'm assuming he's not teenage, but maybe or late teens, early 20s, maybe early 20s. Yeah, early 20s, because I think the Gen Z cutoff is like 20s, 29 now or something like that. But long story short, there's always a point in time where there are things that your kids want to know that their parents don't know. And it's kind of like, because we're going through this gate of the game player gate placement this week, where we're in the 4th day, I want to say, of this transit. And it's kind of in that element of like maybe he wants to start to feel a little bit more autonomous in some way, shape, or form. Oh, he's 30s. I was wrong. Okay, there you go. No, that's okay. So maybe feeling like, even so, I mean, if you have Saturn in Cancer in your 5th house, like needing to kind of allow yourself to not have the enmeshment. I understand. Are you a single mom by chance? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I think it's just probably that it takes longer, right? There's like a little bit of time where it's just been the two of you guys for a while, my psychicness kicking in, where we have more of that split that's happening. Also for him, he just finished his Saturn return. And that makes sense. I think like probably for him, it's his Saturn in Pisces, right? He's gonna want a little bit more of that, just feeling like his own person. You have a 6 in your profile. You're a 6 too. I'd be curious to know if he also has a 6 in his profile, because up until his Saturn return, so when we hit about like 30, early 30s, he was a 3rd line like yourself. So if you look back until about like 28 to 31 for your Saturn, Scorpio, happy birthday to him. Yeah, that won't help me as much. But also, like, Mars and Mercury on his sun right now, it's still a water sign, right? He may deal with a little bit of depression. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's what he's going through a little bit. I think just like knowing that, yeah. Does he have indented, hi Neff? Does he have indented temples? Yeah. I'm just picking up on him psychically at this point. Is he a gamer too? It's interesting. So Capricorn risings should be very disciplined. I find that as an Aquarius rising, that as I've grown in practicing the discipline of my Aquarius rising, yeah, exactly. Hi, good. I'm just reading for CSO right now. Capricorn risings have a Pisces 3rd house. Yeah. It can be very whiny, which I hit a wall. Like, I have a level of tolerance for Capricorn risings that have that whininess of the Pisces in the 3rd house, because my sun falls in their 3rd house. It's like, I understand, but at what point, like, I'm also Saturn ruled too, and I got Uranus on my ascendant as well for the modern ruler. So like, I have a double whammy. It's not only discipline, but it's like chaotic AF. So like, we got to be about it at some way, right? There you go, mother. That's crazy. Yes. Oh, I could, to be a fly on your wall. But to your point, like Carol, right? It's like he could have a solution or a problem for every solution that you have. So the best advice that I could give you as a mom of a son with a Capricorn rising, especially as a single mom, is to let him be, I hate to say it this way, but it's true, be a man to figure things out on his own. Capricorn risings with Pisces, so much Pisces, Neptune and Cancer, or Neptune and Saturn in their 3rd house right now, is like, they have hold on, I have to do a little puzzle because it's gonna time out. Right now they can have, and sometimes often, a problem for every solution. Especially with the Scorpio sun, it's a fixed water, and when water sits for too long, it gets stagnant. Yeah, and so now he's gonna have to learn how to ask, because what happens, right, is that you now are putting this adult out into the world who hasn't learned things the hard way before, probably out of guilt of being a single mom, which happens, especially Cancer, fifth house, Saturn, Cancer, Saturn, right? It's like there is some Band-Aid on a bullet hole that's happening that now it will only continue to get worse. So it's when do you want to delay the inevitable? Over time is usually what happens with a combination of those placements. So if he's going silent, right, and you are healthily aware of his mental health, right, like you're doing what you have to do, but really look into your relationship with your placements as well for enabling in any capacity. So that way you're like, because you are sending this adult into the world that you want to be successful and be able to exist when you're not here anymore, right? So, and I'm speaking from personal experience with my mom and my brother too. So he's not a Capricorn rising, but it's very similar in the dynamic where it's like, oh, love you guys, but isn't the consequences of your own actions, you know, of like looking at it from that place. But I also have one of my close girlfriends, Olivia, her brother is a Scorpio sun. And I forget his rising sign, but there's a lot of that dynamic there too with Scorpio male energy right now too, but Capricorn risings especially, like they don't learn until you like really give them like an ultimatum. Cancer rising or Capricorn rising really does love the disciplinarian, and your Saturn in Cancer is the opposite of Capricorn, they're sister signs. So there's gonna be that balance there. So I have 5 planets in Scorpio, so I know it well. It's like how do we okay, where's the filtration happening? I think that what's also gonna give you, yeah, exactly, tough love, exactly. Hi, Sifty Mom. When I'm looking at your energy with your career also, I wonder how much of the energy of him being with you, I'm assuming he lives at home. I didn't even ask. I just am like having that visual. And you're hyper, like you're more aware because it's like at a time where like, when do we need to have the growing pains of moving? Yeah. Oh, New York. Okay, good. Yeah. And I think, you know, there's part of that that's okay. I think this is something that I've been saying a lot in parent relationships, because I know the pressure, especially as a fellow Saturn dominant. I mean, I love as a Capricorn rising that he lives in New York, because just like the energy of New York is very Capricorn. Yeah, I sadly live in the deep south. Yeah, I understand, especially now. I feel for him. I'm sending you a hug. Yeah, and I think letting him know that, and like ultimately, like, you know, any good Capricorn rising you're gonna be able to meet up again, because you as a mom with him, this is what I was gonna say for the quote. Nothing affects the life of a child more than the unlived life of a parent. So intentionally, unintentionally, most likely, because I know you're very sweet from your energy and your chart, but just knowing you for a minute now, through your energy and being sweet and being here, that like there maybe is too much of a dialogue happening with him about what the problem is around career, right? Without enough of the implementation and feeling stagnant. So when he is a Capricorn rising, if he's using it the highest octave, where like he's in New York, he's doing his thing, he has his flow, and then he feels this mom that's far away that is talking to him about a problem with no solution, which as women we do, right? Like if I'm being bold and making those declarations about masculine versus feminine essence as a generalization, which I think if I'm reading the energy correctly is correct for your dynamics of your personalities, then, you know, there's maybe a little bit of where the boundaries have gotten blurred. So you're feeling the growing pains, but it's like, oh, like, I know I need to let go, but I don't want to let go, but you're not letting go. It's just the relationship is shifting because he's in a new life point in life right now, and so are you, right? So instead of focusing too much on feeling the you know, it's like the egg yolk, like the two egg yolks that give us luck in the same egg, and then they're shifting, right? How is them? They're shifting. Yeah, and you know what? That's perfect. So now, at this point in time, you can say it's not that he may be dating somebody that he, you know, is taking up a lot of his time, and he doesn't want to tell you until he knows that he can bring them down there in good faith to meet you. You know, we don't know. And I think it's being okay that like when you start to see your children as adults in their own individual way, right? That like have autonomy and are adults that have that. Likewise, thank you so much. It's good to see you. But that being said, then you can focus. I don't think there's anyone. I'll give you an extra minute or so. Then you can focus on what's good for your career, right? So I won't harp too much more on that, but I think it was just important for us to touch on that because I can imagine that that's taking up a lot of mental real estate because you have an undefined ajna and gate 11, so the mind is always going. You're like, can you stop? Like, can I just take my brain and unplug it and sit it back here and recharge it, and I'll just exist over here as Carol and be able to relax. Because you have a heart of gold. Like, I know that your heart is in the right place too, especially because you also have the 4037 channel, 4037 channel, excuse me. And you have that in your incarnation cross but swapped. So also being somebody that's like, you need to be busy. It's actually not good. Yeah, I know. Now you're like, okay, tell me something I don't know. But I would say this for a couple things. Also focus on doing things in quarters. Actually, hi Faith, how are you, beautiful? You and Jocelyn are very similar in the things that I will say to you. A or B, black or white, yes or no. Compartmentalizing your anxiety. You literally both have like manifesting generators, emotional authority, 40-37 channel, and gate 5 that I was all mentioning. The 40-34-20 channel that makes you a manifesting generator is that we always want to be busy. We just want to make sure that we know that we're being busy with intention. When we're not being busy with intention, that creates so much anxiety, right? So that's where it's like, oh, I know I'm doing this, but like, what the hell? And I was just talking about this with Nicole. Oh, who made a comment? Yes. For her during our Ask Me Anything on Patreon, where, she was like, I want to do work on the computer, but then I start cleaning things up around the house. And every time I'm doing something like the laundry or I see a crumb and I have to fix it, I get frustrated, which is your indicator that you're moving in the wrong direction. Yes, that's good. I love that. Going in the wrong direction. Then I'm like, okay, well, that means that you need to work out some of your physical energy, because what you really are frustrated with is you're frustrated with both. You're frustrated because you're supposed to be doing computer work. That's what you need to be doing for your business, but you know that your physical body needs to burn off more actual energy. So working out, even just walking, stretching, intentional movement of our body is so important when you have the 34-20 channel. Hi, Shelly, because it'll help with the mental gymnastics. And then all that to say, from a career perspective, things that involve food, workshops, online or in person, getting in a group setting, being in women's circles, even if it's not a women's circle, because they're hit or miss. Even in my personal opinion, I don't always love them, just because a lot of reasons. Supper clubs, if you want to join a supper club, things that have people like connecting and communing over food. I had one of my single mom clients that she's a single mom of 2 teenagers and a grandma now too. And 2 teenagers, or he's like 20, I think like early 20s. But she went on like a restaurant tour ticketed event like by herself, things like that. You don't love them? Yeah, I understand. I understand. There's a couple different reasons I could see that. That's where I was like, let me just make sure we're addressing that, but without going too far in that direction. Just being able to say, okay, like, what are things that are surrounding food, events, activities, community, but in a way that allows you to still be a little bit of an outside observer. Like if it's in a healthy group, while right now, what you're doing in this season from October to December is just giving yourself some data to respond to about what you do and don't like in areas that are supportive to your 40-37 channel. If I'm packaging it up in a nice bow for you, because it's food centric, it's community centric, it's friendship centric, but that doesn't mean that you have to now cosplay girl boss. I have 11 girlfriends that are all gonna be my bridesmaids, like that kind of thing. It can be more so like, where can I just go to make good, genuine connections? And this can just be the woman that I talk to once a month when we go on our walk and talk and get coffee. It's like not putting so much pressure on every one connection to be everything, right? Especially when you're figuring it out in career, like, oh, this person came to me with a doTERRA oil, multi-level marketing scheme as a whole. I could say so much about that too. Not that doTERRA is bad. My aunt sells them and I do like that, like with her practice, but you just know the type where it's like you think you're going to like on a friendship date and then it ends up being like someone's trying to sell you something for coaching and you're like, oh, ouch, that is actually painful. Like I truly was just coming here to like have a good time. And I don't doubt that you have good discernment in that area anyway, but I think for you too, because you are a part of 30%, yeah, Shelly, exactly. You're 30% of the population that has a defined ego and motivation center. I don't know if you would even if there's like a product that you could make, like maybe you make like candles and sell them or something, like spell jars or something that you make and sell at different like shows. You have a lot of good placements for owning your own business or making money independently in some way. Just don't let your Aries Mars have you hopping too quickly. There's parts where you'll have to temper, like when you feel frustrated, get up and step away from a bit. step away for a bit without quitting completely, which is easier said than done. I want to promote silversmiths and sell. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Absolutely. I think if you know that already, it's just a matter of saying, okay, now what's the most efficient way that I can do this? Yeah, and that's good. You should be stewing because you're an emotional authority. So like you're contemplating something that's going to be a big life change, right? So like you being able to say, okay, I am pivoting in this new direction. I want to give myself some time to make sure that I'm marinating in it fully in a way that feels like I can work through it and think about all the steps that I'll need so that like once I get, 50% of the way done, I'm not regretting something that I should have thought about earlier. So I love that for you though. Let me know any other questions as that evolves too. But yeah, thank you for letting me read for you. And if there's anything else that popped up or if there's anything else that I said as I was reading for Carol here, you guys feel free to write them in the comments below. I'd be happy to help. But yeah, thank you. I love that. And I say, listen, like my job is just to help you pull off the cobwebs for what you already know exists in here. And I wish somebody had told me that about human design when I first started too. I'm like, how can we just like refine? Like I know it's somewhere in there and you really do know, but it's like, let's just kind of, lift the veil together in Samhain Halloween fashion. But yeah, 20 years ago. Yes. It started 20 years ago, or you had that idea 20 years ago? Hi, chicken tender. But yeah, usually it's just a matter of giving ourselves the gumption to do what we want to do. Oh, 20. Okay, yes, that's amazing. There's this really cool, for my New Jersey folks, there's this I think they call it a living historical village called a lair. And they might have some near you as well, especially in the South. But basically it was like this old farm because there's a lot of natural like preserved land in New Jersey. And so it's a I don't think a working farm is the right term, but basically they have people. My first job I wanted to have was be a fashion designer. I'm a manifesting generator too, so you're gonna hear that very quickly. So I wanted to be a fashion designer first, and I was helping to mend the costumes at a lair. So like I have like some old materials too where I would like fix any tears in the costumes because they would be like in colonial garb. I'll read that in a second. Colonial garb, and they have like a live blacksmith that actually makes like real nails and things like that for that. So I know it's different than silversmith, but like that's where my mind went, all that to say. But like even that can be a fun job that like people don't even realize exists. Like mending costumes for something like that, and that's the use of your sewing skills or your hands. I feel like a lot of what will help you here too is if you actually do work with something physical in some way. Or should I say conditioned thought process overruled? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh yeah, Shelly, that's so funny. I love that. I know. I feel like there's always some red thread. Fashion is so fun too. And now I want to start sewing again. I was actually looking at patterns last night. But yeah, the conditioned mind too. Because the conditioned ajna, the undefined ajna, is like feeling like you have to know what you're doing at all times, because there's a lot of people in the world that are like, the first question, especially if you live on I always say the perimeter of the US, is like, oh, what do you do for a living? When like if you go to another country or different parts of the world, like the last thing they ask you is about work. So we put a lot of pressure on that. Yeah, yours too, Jocelyn. I love that. I know. I did take a pre-college workshop at FIT. It was like 4 weekends like for fashion drawing my junior year of high school. And I liked the class, like the class was great, but I was looking at FIT and I was like, this looks like a prison, and it feels kind of like a prison too. I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, this is FIT, like why is everything gray? And not like millennial gray, it was like a little rough. Yeah, so I was like, I feel like I'm a little too like I want a little bit of better visual optics. And like now looking back, I was like, I transferred, so I went to Brookdale for 2 years, if you're familiar, and then I transferred and went to Fordham in the Bronx campus. But I was back and forth to Bronx and Lincoln Center because I lived in the Bronx, but I would take classes in Lincoln Center because I was art history, so that it all helps. But that's just more part of the lore. So hi, Plinio. There you go. Lo siento. Welcome. But yeah, fashion is always so fun. And it's a skill, like any skill. There's never anything that you do that you learn as a manifesting generator is never a skill that's going to be lost on you. So yeah, I think I have that undefined. So I always think I need to always learn more to feel confident. Yes, absolutely. And that's where it's like, I don't know, but it's like what literally it just happened. I have a completely open ajna. When Viv asked me, what's like the 13-year cycle of Mercury, I think she said, that was a question. I don't know. I'm allowed to not know, right? You're allowed to not know. There are things, it's impossible for us to retain all of the information all the time. But what I'm confident in is that I know that I've gained the resources to know where to look to get an answer, right? So those are the things you have to start to pivot it to when you have an undefined ajna. It's okay that you don't retain it, especially for ADHD, have many things that you're interested in, but as long as you can be trusted as a person who knows where to look or knows who to guide, I don't know astrocartography, you could go to Dom Michel, or whatever. I don't know, aura photography, you could go to Ignite Aura or something along those lines. Like that's also a way to appease the anxiety, like know how and where to cite your sources or send your sources, connect your sources can also be helpful. So yeah. But yeah, I probably will stay on for at least another like 15 minutes or so. I can feel my energy winding down because I was up early today. I mentioned earlier, for those of you that weren't here, I had a client that is in Switzerland right now. So we met at 9 a.m., which is not my usual. I'm up by 9 a.m. I'm up by 8 usually. But I'm not on by 9. So today I was on by 9, which was fine because I was able to be, but going back and forth in true manifesting generator fashion, does that feel good? But yeah, any last minute questions, feel free to write them down in the chat and I can answer before we go. Sorry, I'm trying to for whatever reason it blocked it. There we go. Yeah, so can you explain the concept more of being a manifesting generator? Hi, Nini. Yes. So there are 5 energy types that one can be. Oh, I love that. I am almost every day, Humber. So being a manifesting generator, you are one of 5 energy types in human design. There are generators, manifesting generators, of which we are 2 of the same. Generators make up, generators and manifesting generators were called sacral beings. There's non-sacral beings who are manifestors, projectors, and reflectors. They have less energy naturally, or have to be more stingy with their energy off the rip than we do. What happens is that being a manifesting generator, our tagline that I say often is that we're the multi-hyphenate, multi-passionate people who are here to do and accomplish many different things. So what happens and what that means actually is that you're here to do many things over the course of your lifetime. It doesn't mean you have to overwhelm yourself by having a candle business and a rug cleaning shop and be a tailor and own a grocery store and sew all at the same time. Our predisposition is like, oh my gosh, I love life so much, I have to do it all, I want to do it all, but that can lead to burnout. What you want to do as a manifesting generator and how you're more efficient with it is that you can allow yourself to just take one project at a time and go full speed ahead on that one project to kind of become like temporarily obsessed with it. Now, what you'll notice and what I've noticed over time through my human design experiment is that we tend to have the same, yes, but this is what I'm going to say. It's so funny you said that because this is what I was going to say. That usually there's some sort of red thread that runs through all of our interests. So for me, the 2 things that were 2 red threads, I should say, was always spirituality, like personal development within the astrology, like metaphysics vein, and creativity. Hi, Danny. So having those 2 things is kind of like the forefront. And we're looking at it in that direction. I say, okay, I'm really creative about my business now. So like when I'm trying to think about like what I want to create, or like when I'm getting dressed and like what I want to wear in my video to like connect with my energy of the day, like that's how I can express my fashion side with like what I do now for work, right? But if one day I wake up and I'm like, you know what, like I kind of feel like I want, like what else is out there? What else do I want to do? Then I can I'll allow myself to pivot as a manifesting generator. But I know for right now at this point in time in life, like I still do have so many interests. I just got married and we had our elopement celebration on October 18th with our friends and family. I love event planning. I used to like do a bunch of events when I was in arts and music management in the city. And so I didn't want somebody to do the event production. I wanted to do it myself because I enjoyed doing that. So, but now, because I've done this for a while, I've been reading charts for 10 years, but doing it for 4 as like a career pretty much, I knew like how I can compartmentalize what to be able to apply the energy effectively. But it's a learned skill that just takes trial and error. But I promise you, like even pursuing it, you know, your many interests with that mindset is going to help you to refine, and you're going to get through it much more quickly than I did, because I didn't have anybody telling me that at 22 when I found out I was a manifesting generator. So like if I can help you earlier, what I wish even though I understood the concept, I wish I applied it more at 26. It's just a matter of being like, okay, like when I kind of envision what I want to have fun with for 2026 and moving forward, like what does that kind of look like for me? Like, am I interested in Depop, thrifting, fashion, Etsy? Do I want to do, you know, coaching? And it's being brave enough to just choose one thing for right now. And it's not that you're saying no to the other things forever. A lot of us were raised with parents, manifesting generators of this generation. We were raised with parents that went opposite of their design. And look at where a lot of our parents' generation is. They may be tolerant of their lives or grateful, but like, how happy can you say they are truly with what they've chosen? Right? Because they did things out of shoulding, not like allowing themselves to explore or go back to things. Like, I remember, because I have a lot of people in education in my family, and a lot of them are like, I mean, teaching was like for millennial, like as a 94 millennial, teaching was, I think, what like I would associate almost with like nursing now. Everybody that I know, right, is like either a hat trip, is either a nurse or a teacher. But both of them are struggling so much. I have a cousin that just started as a nurse practitioner, got her master's and finished, and she's like, I'm like, I know you're a manifesting generator. She doesn't know her birth time, but I pretty much know just based on her personality. And she's like, yeah, I cannot wait to leave nursing. Like the second I figure out what I'm gonna do next, like I'm done. But that all those skills that you learn in nursing, like when I know that I need like supplements for something, or she tells me what I need to ask my doctor for to be able to get the right panels of tests or whatever. Like even I'm like, Sarah just texted me what I need to do. I definitely was told to pick one lane by my parent. Yeah, never did, and it worked out. Yes, exactly. I'm an MG. I love that so much. A+ success story, Faith. You're a woman of your name. Yeah, part of you wants to do something safe and the other part wants to take risks. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where, like, especially as a Virgo sun, that's a really good way to look at it. So for me, when I was like 20, around like your age, I'll say like 24 to 25, I was working in insurance. For Schmeico Insurance in New Jersey as a claims adjuster, because I needed that job to pay my bills and keep a roof over my head while I figured out how to make money doing what I love. So like, I wasn't the type of person that like, you know, living at home wasn't an option for me. Like it wasn't safe for me to be there anymore. And I didn't want to live at my now ex-boyfriend's house on Staten Island with his parents that were like going through divorce. Like it was just like one traumatic environment to another. And so I was like, I need to get out of here. Like, I'm not going to build a business based on this anxiety, because everyone's going to be able to tell. Like, there are people who you can tell on these apps that like build businesses, and they're like, please buy my course, because they're like operating from that place. And I'm like, I don't say it to be mean, because like I know like it fucking sucks. Like I know exactly how they feel, but it's like people can tell, especially if it's like you're going into a spiritual practice, you know? So it's like, babe, like it's okay just to take like the BS 9-to-5 job. Just remember what you're in it for, and it's a means to an end to be diligent. Like when you go home, you don't need to spend more than 30 minutes 5 times a week, 4 times a week, if that, especially as a manifesting generator, working on what your business should be, what you want it to be, not should, but like what you want to grow it into. Yeah, 7-year relationship. Yeah, absolutely. And those are like those were such like those 7 years for you are such transformative years. So it's like you're finding so much stability and individuality too. Like who you were 7 years ago when you're like, what, that's 18, 19 to now, like, oh my God, like, I don't even remember what I was doing. I'm like, where was I at 19? What was I doing? Right? So it's like you've evolved so much. So allowing yourself to integrate the lessons of that and then have fun figuring it out. But, you know, having fun for you is also allowing yourself to have some sort of structure and discipline that exists outside of you, because as a Virgo, you're going to like that as you're learning to trust and regulate your nervous system to know that you've got you at the end of the day. But a lot of people that find me struggle with being able to understand the fulfillment that comes from even just making the first $20 doing what you love, and they're unwilling because, and I get it, because a lot of it comes from being afraid to be even more exhausted in pursuit of what you want to do, and like something bad happening, right? When it's all just data, nothing bad's gonna happen. It's not like, unless you're performing, like side hustle heart surgery, like that's not even a thing. Right? Like it's not gonna be that serious. Like you can allow yourself to just come at it from a place of sustainability is what I was gonna say. But I started reading Shelley's question in ADHD men Gen fashion. I'm Gen X and my parents told me to pick a lane. I have changed jobs so much. I know, absolutely. And it makes so much sense because you're meant to explore. Like I always love, like, my job in insurance is what led me to meeting my husband. So like it was where I needed to be to collect that token in my lore and then move on, in this game of life. So if you have the call to do something that's more stable, I also worked for Madewell. I was working at Lucky Brand Jeans in Shrewsbury, New Jersey, when I was at 19, and I was in community college at the time. So like that, yeah, collecting tokens is true, right? It's all just collecting tokens for the plot. Like it's so gate 28 of me to say, gate of the game player, but yeah. Aw. And you know what, Natural, like, now that, hi user 162, that you won't go back to that, like, that's like not something that was comfortable for you. So it's like, we all have to have those uncomfortable experiences. And if things are too comfortable, then we don't learn. Unfortunately, I wish that there was a way that I could change the chip in all of our human brains to not make us learn things like the hard way, but we don't learn and evolve unless there's some sort of pain point there. I think that for me, I believe that's why, we incarnate here to work out those kinks. I know the rent is crazy. We actually live in Pennsylvania now, so I'm not in Jersey still. We left. We pay less on a mortgage than we did for a 1-bedroom apartment because we were like, what are we doing? Like, okay, yeah, a golf simulator is nice, but like, I don't care. But I don't play golf. I do not need this. I don't need this. Even in my like less fancy apartment, rent was still crazy. I was paying $1,650 that went up to $1,700 in 2019 to like 2021 when I was in my apartment. Actually, 2018 I think was when I moved in. I was there for like 3 years, left in 2021. Yeah, and it was up to $1,700 when I left. And when I broke the lease there, because it was after COVID, they bumped it up to like $2,150. And it was like a 10-year-old apartment, at that point. So it's crazy. Yeah. What's really cute, that's a little bit more affordable? I mean, if you're interested in moving like west, is like the Phillipsburg, Easton area. It reminds me a lot of Red Bank. Yeah, exactly. It's insane. Yeah, it is. I know. That's where there's so, like, the bubble, we already know things are bursting, and it's like what goes up must come back down again. So, I do have faith that we will figure it out. I'm cautiously optimistic and doing what we can, right, to be able to preserve, be resourceful, especially now, like, use anything that you can use as an assist for you right now. Use it. Don't let your ego get involved if, for wherever you need to go for your supplies, your tools. Like, that's a big thing. I was having a whole conversation with another manifesting generator client of mine that was paying rent on her own about the same. I think it was like $2,000 a month. And she was like, I also need to like go to get food. Like, all my money is going to my rent and basically to pay for health insurance and, all those things. And needing to go to a food pantry, and I'm like, that food, if you go to a food pantry especially, that food is gonna go in the garbage because there's fresh produce, like things like that exist there. Like, it's not that's a temporary situation, that you're in right now to be able to up level to where you need to go. But you can't triage Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can't triage where you're going for your business, what you want to do for money, if you're not fed, right? So that's the first plan, the first line. The astrology, though, and I was talking about this with another astrologer for like, everything that's going on in the atmosphere. From an astrological perspective, it should be resolved by Thanksgiving. So we shall see. I also wouldn't be surprised if there was like and I'm not big on like predictions on that scale just because there's so much that like we don't know behind the scenes. But all that to say that, like with this app, last minute, oh my God, we have it, yay! December 3rd, Kellyanne, thank you. It's here, right? Like, is it going to be that situation again? So like, and that's where like so much of us have sacral authorities, like reminding ourselves to say like, I will believe it when I see it, is a huge tip. Also for anxiety right now. Like if did I get my food today? Was I able to put money towards my bills today? Like this is the time of resource and using your resources, redistributing your resources. If you have friends that are social workers, my friend Isabella, it's a Aries social worker, Sag rising. She calls herself the resource redistributor. So it's like, even if you don't have a social worker that like you need for whatever reason, if you have somebody that you know that's in that area, they're also really good people to be able to consult, and they're in that position because they're happy to help people. So especially if you know them. But yeah, I've learned so much. I grew each job. Absolutely. That's why I say like the jobs like in nursing, healthcare, insurance, like any of those jobs, like I think it's just like how I say we all say this, those of us who've been in a customer facing industry, like everyone should work at a hospitality job or like bartending, waitressing, like something along those lines, because it teaches you people skills and like really to understand like, yes, there are people that you would never even understand how they came to that conclusion or ask that question. Like there's people of all backgrounds, creeds, etc. In the world, good and bad, and everything in between. But I say the same thing about working like an insurance job or something with jobs like that, especially in your 20s, because like those are skills that like you just learn so much about. Oh, like now I'm not as afraid, God forbid I get into a fender bender. I have that data to refer back to. And as a manifesting generator, it's always just part of the plot. So a little bit more for us to focus on. But with that being said, I'm going to head out for the evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. Carol and Jocelyn, thank you so much for letting me pour into you. I'm going to do my emails within the next hour or so. I just have to take my contacts out. I want to wipe my makeup off, get a little cozy upstairs before I get into emails again. Ro, thank you. Thank you, Shelly, Faith. It was so good to see all of you guys. Thank you for being here. I won't be back on tomorrow. I'm so glad, Jocelyn. Yeah, thank you, Katie. I appreciate you. I won't be on tomorrow, but I will be on Thursday later at night. I have a call that's going to be from like 7:30 to 8:30, maybe 9, and then I'll be on a little bit later. I have Erica, who already booked her reading. She's in my projector Patreon, so if you want to book for later on Thursday, that's already available. But I will see you then. Thank you, Tavi. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm a teacher at heart, so I love to be able to pass the baton and give you guys some good notes that make your life a little bit better. So love to all of you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Almost said Wednesday. And I will see you on Thursday. Have a good one. Bye, YouTube. I'll see you guys.